TikTokers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. I really appreciate your company and I appreciate you being here. I am currently filming this video at 5:30 in the morning and I'm very excited for it. If you're aware, this is my favorite thing that I'm doing on my channel right now. This is the third installment of Am I the A-hole? Basically, if you have no idea what this is, please go watch the first two. I really would love this to do well on my channel because I'm enjoying doing this so much, so selfishly I would want to continue doing it. And the first two, I really, I'm so appreciative of the response to them. Basically, it's this subreddit called Am I the Asshole? And it is a lot of people like me and you, basically saying things that are happening in their lives, decisions they've made, and they're asking the public, as in us, am I the asshole? Is the other person the asshole? Or is everyone fine? And I've been enjoying doing this because it's been like hearing about drama of like day-to-day people, and I'm finding it so fascinating. I'm such a gossip, so this has been like my dream kind of content. So I am doing 4 every video, and I have my chosen ones of today, which I'm very excited for. I've only read the titles, so we're gonna get right into it. So my beverage of choice today is going to be a Diet Coke, because I feel like if I was to drink a Red Bull at near 6 a.m. and still want to go to bed, I feel like that would be a little bit of a challenge. So, cheers. Anyone else want to go see the Megan movie? This is not sponsored or anything, but like, you know the Megan like horror movie or whatever? It just looks like super like camp, and like I really want to go see it. If anyone's seen it yet, please let me know, because I don't want to go if it's shit. That's how you know it's not sponsored, because I'm like, it could be shit, so let me know. Alright. Ooh, love Diet Coke. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna go into the first one. Am I the asshole for implying that my brother is an embarrassment to our family? Now this one sounds intense. My sister has been very excited to introduce her boyfriend to us. He invited her to his family's holiday celebration, so she's been with his family, and she had an amazing time. She asked us to make her boyfriend's first time meeting us special. I convinced my dad to make us reservations at a really nice restaurant, so everything's going fine. Somehow I don't think it's gonna go fine for much longer, where we could all get dressed up and have a nice time. My mom, sister, and I were so excited to put on our fancy clothes and go out. And my dad was excited too, but our brother had very little interest. So wait, sister's boyfriend is who's being introduced. Okay, so our brother had no interest. Our mom had to make him change twice. At the restaurant we met the new boyfriend. He was very sweet and cute, and he was very nice to all of us. Our brother showed very little interest in him. When my dad asked what the boyfriend did, he said he was a linguist and worked at a publishing house proofreading translations. At this point, my brother perked up. He asked if the boyfriend could show a manuscript he's been working on to people at the office. The boyfriend became uncomfortable and explained that he didn't work with that arm of the publishing house. They didn't work with original works, they just worked with translations. My brother began whining and pleading that he at least flipped through the manuscript. Eventually, the boyfriend gave my brother his email, but he looked very uncomfortable and the vibe of the night was ruined because of the brother. Although the original plan was for everyone to return to our family home for a nightcap, is that like nightly recap, I guess? I've never used that lingo before. Oh, you kids keep me young. The boyfriend said he needed to get up early, so he had to go get some rest. He and my sister left together and the rest of us returned home. At home, I told my brother off for his behavior. He said he was networking. So weird, and I wouldn't understand. I said all he did was embarrass our family on a night that was really important to our sister. I said he was self-centered, and if I ever find anyone special, I won't introduce my brother to them. My brother then called me a condescending bitch. My mom said I went too far, especially since I wasn't the originally like injured party. I just felt that he needed a wake-up call. Did I cross the line? No. I don't think so at all. I mean, the caption of this was, am I the asshole for implying my brother is an embarrassment to our family? Now that is very intense, but from what you're saying about, at home I told my brother off for his behavior. He said he was networking and that I wouldn't understand. I said that all he did was embarrass our family on a night that was important to my sister. I said he was self-centered, and if I ever met anyone special, I wouldn't introduce my brother to him. He then called me a condescending bitch. The mom said that she crossed the line, especially since it wasn't her that, you know, organized the night. I felt he needed a wake-up call. Did I cross the line? Okay, here's my thing. The brother is getting to call you a condescending bitch, but your mother is siding with the brother. I mean, it's very clear to see who the favorite child is here. No, you did not cross a line, and actually, it should be the entire family having a sit down with the brother, because this night meant a lot to the sister, and it's not the appropriate. First of all, what he was doing wasn't networking. What he was doing was basically belittling and interrogating the boyfriend, and the night was ruined because of him. The vibe was ruined. The boyfriend didn't want to come back again. The sister didn't want to come back. You didn't cross a line. Your mother is going way too easy on your brother, and your dad should be saying something as well. It shouldn't just be you having to do the, wake up call to him, because everyone is experiencing the uncomfortable behavior. Not the asshole. You're not the asshole. And I firmly believe that. Fuck that guy. Your brother. Alright, okay, so the next one, I'm really fascinated by the title. So, it is, am I the asshole for pretending not to recognize my parents when they tried to reconnect with me? Oh, I love drama. I hope this isn't like a really sad story after I've just said I love drama, but you know what I mean? Like, stuff that doesn't involve me, I love it. I was raised mostly, I hope this isn't a sad story now because I'll feel so bad. I was raised mostly by my aunt and uncle. My older sister developed a serious... Oh. Adam! Okay. For context, I have not read these. I've only read the title. My point was that I could just edit this out, but my point. My point was, from all of these, from whatever this could be, to the next one, I love talking, I love scenarios, I love debating, I love drama. However, this one seems to be a little bit heavier, so we're gonna... I was raised mostly by my uncle and aunt. My older sister developed a serious illness whenever I was 6, and my parents decided that they couldn't care for both of us, I guess. So they kind of dumped me at my grandparents, and my uncle took me in. Like, didn't even explain to me what was going on. Just, you're gonna go visit Gran for a while, and they never picked me up again. Fuck the parents. My grandparents and uncle explained it later, and they were pretty livid at my parents. I've seen my parents maybe 5 times since then, and not at all for the past 9 years. I decided to stop having contact with them when I was 12, and since I was the only one reaching out for communication all the time, it broke down. It turned out okay. I love my aunt and uncle, and it turns out that they can't have kids, so I'm always like their miracle kid is what they say. I was just misrooted by the stork at first. That's cute. I was formally adopted by them whenever I turned 18, so from like 8 to 12 to 18. I wish it had been earlier, but there were some red tape things that, made it really difficult for them. I'm now 21. My sister passed away between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I made a trip back from school for the funeral, but I stayed in the back and left before my biological parents could talk to me. They called my uncle to try talk to me, like trying to get the uncle to like be the middle person here, but I said I didn't want to talk to them and that I wasn't available in that moment. They finally caught up to me over Christmas, and whenever I went to a midnight mass with my gran, and approached me and tried to give me a hug. I did recognize them, but I pretended not to and just backed off and said, "Sorry, do I know you?" Good. They said, "Where are your parents?" And I said, "My parents are at home." Oh, this is good! That is good. I went and sat down with my gran. They sat behind us, and I could just feel the stare. And on the way, they said, "You really don't recognize us?" And I said, "Oh, are you my dad's brother?" Fuck the parents, this is good. "I think I remember you from when I was little." My gran thinks they deserved it, trying to come back like nothing ever happened, like trying to come back in my life. But they wrote me a long letter about how hurt they are and that I should understand that they were trying to do the right thing and how they'll always be my parents and I can't change that. Other family members think I was going too harsh as they're grieving, but I don't think they should get a pass because they remembered me now that my sister is gone. Let me kind of... Listen. I'm just kind of looking through this and like the overall responses to kind of... Because I thought I was going to be really harsh, but I think this is kind of the I was gonna say you're not the asshole, but I was like, maybe that's too harsh because they just lost your sister. I'm sorry to hear that, by the way. But I mean, everyone is saying not the asshole. The reason I don't think you're the asshole is because, I mean, your parents are what were your uncle and aunt and I. Like, they are your parents. Formally, legally, everything. They literally adopted you. And it's really icky. It's really icky that the only time that they are reconnecting with you or making any effort, because we're told that they have been, you know, not responding whenever this person didn't reach out to them, didn't hear from them for like 9 years. It's really fucking icky that your sister is now unfortunately gone, and that's when they want to be back in your life. Whenever originally the reason, by your words, you were dumped was because of your sister. So I just think that this is an all-around kind of awful, unfortunate situation. I am a petty person, so I appreciate the way you handled it. And I don't think you're an asshole for pretending not to know them. I also think you're not an asshole for telling them that, you know, my parents are there, you're not my parents. I don't think you're the asshole in this. I think this is you were adopted, they're not your parents. Like, I just think that this is such a messy situation, like I've said a couple times now, but I don't think you're the asshole. I mean, what are the responses here? Everyone is saying that they're basically not the asshole, and someone said, notice how in their letter they only focused on themselves, how hurt they were at you. Then they had the audacity to tell you that you should, you know, be ashamed. These people are garbage and deserve to know that and be told that repeatedly. Not the asshole. Okay, that's gonna be my overall take is that I went with my heart. You're not the asshole. I think your parents are the assholes. I think your parents were given a very unfortunate situation, and I think they handled it horribly, but they're not your parents anymore. I mean, your uncle and aunt raised you, then adopted you. So, I mean, it's petty to say you're not my parents, but it's not wrong. So I don't think you're the asshole at all. And the fact that they ignored you all of your life, you're not the asshole. Have that moment. Cheers. And I'm sorry about your sister. Like, no. Anyway, the next one. Am I the asshole for cancelling a birthday trip and telling my oldest to leave after my sons made a homophobic joke towards their brother? So am I the asshole for cancelling a birthday trip and telling my oldest to leave after my sons made homophobic jokes towards their brother? Now, the reason I chose this one is because I feel like I can give a good take on it. I don't know what it is yet, other than that, but I feel that, like, I can answer it. So, my son, 15, male, sat the whole family down after dinner and told us that he was gay. My other sons, 17 male and 19 male, started saying the most disgusting homophobic things I've ever heard, but that they were all jokes. During their little comedy act, I told them to stop multiple times, but they didn't. My 15-year-old son just sat there uncomfortably, looking like he wanted to cry. When my 15-year-old finally got up to leave, his brothers hugged him and said, "You know we were fucking with you, we love you bro, and we knew." I cancelled my 17-year-old's upcoming birthday trip and told my 19-year-old to leave. He doesn't live at home anymore. My husband thinks since they said that they weren't being mean and they love him that my reaction was wrong and will cause friction between all of them. He especially got upset at me telling our oldest to leave and started an argument that hasn't ended yet. Am I the asshole? Now, I'm not going to look at the comments yet because I kind of want to... Do I believe that you're the asshole for cancelling the birthday trip of the 17-year-old and telling the 19-year-old to leave? He doesn't live in the house because they were making the most disgusting homophobic things you've ever heard to your 15-year-old son who just came out as gay. Like, in that moment, that was their first response. You're not the asshole. And the reason I believe you're not the asshole is because homophobia is so much hidden in media, in whatever, behind comedy. I don't believe you're the asshole, and I also believe here's my thing. I also believe that because we don't know what the brothers were saying, it's hard to like really, because my take on this is you're not the asshole 100% and you weren't wrong for doing that. My thing now is like the comment they made after, which was like, you know, we know you, or you know, we love you so much, like you're our brother, we already knew, and stuff like that. That can only work depending on what their things that they were saying was. Like, I understand we're being told that it was homophobic things, but if we're being told that it's like the most disgusting homophobic things and not jokes, like not jokes, because there are gay jokes that can be made, Ethan Klein, you know that well, but there's a line, right? So I'm going off of being told that we're being told that the most disgusting homophobic things this mother has ever heard being said to her 15-year-old son who just plucked up the courage to come out, you're not the asshole. And I mean, canceling the birthday trip and telling the 19-year-old who doesn't even live there to leave anymore, no, because that was your 15-year-old son's moment. I'm actually not even going to read the comments to this one. I'm going to just say that you're not the asshole. This was your 15-year-old son's moment. That is a hard moment. And that moment can be met with so many different reactions, good, bad, whatever, that it's a really important moment that you make your child know that they're loved, they're accepted. And it's not a moment at all for even jokes, like even gay jokes, right? So when we're then crossing into straight up homophobic things, you're not the asshole for acting the way you did. You're not. And your husband saying that you're going too hard needs to be understanding of how intense of a moment that was for your 15-year-old son. And I feel really bad for your son, but I feel really good that he is a mum like you that acted immediately and did those things to show, setting the boundary that that is not okay. Because obviously, you know, he was just sitting there, whatever. That's a good parent right there. Immediately setting the boundary and leave. And obviously that kind of stuff being said is gonna traumatize the younger son who just came out a bit, and that is to be expected, unfortunately. But the way you handle it immediately will show him that you have his back. So you're the furthest thing from the asshole in this situation. Let me know your opinion of that one. Okay, this next one is a bit of a long one. So this is the one we are going to be leaving it at. And I, without even looking at the comments, can see that this one is a controversial one based on how much attention it has. So let me take a sip and then we're going to get into it. Alright. Am I the asshole for not wanting to turn off my bedside lamp at 2 a.m. per my boyfriend's request? I already think you're the asshole. I already think you're the asshole. Alright. Final edit and update. This all happened that's bad whenever it has an update in it. This all happened about a week ago, and last night I told my boyfriend I would get a book lamp. I haven't been reading in bed for a while now because he has been, you know, very sick and didn't want anyone disturbing his sleeping. And before anyone gets mad, we both found out that we had COVID at the same time. As soon as my symptoms started, both of us took a test and we were positive. His symptoms came a few days later, so please stop telling us that we were being irresponsible. We followed all the... Jesus, so apparently there's already backlash to this one. We followed all the quarantine guidelines and worked from home. My boyfriend's response was that I needed to get a book light and that it didn't bother him. So basically about you working late. I said that it did that night, and he said that he was getting sick and it wasn't a big deal. That sentence made very little sense to me. That night was the first night he complained about me reading with the light on, and most nights it's off before midnight. So for clarification, I did not turn the light on at 2 a.m. It was on the entire time. My boyfriend isn't the best at admitting... Diet Coke's making me gassy. My boyfriend isn't the best at admitting when things are bothering him, until it's so built up that he blows up. So I'm taking this as it's been something that has always bothered him, but he just hasn't said anything. So I will be getting a book lamp. I have realized posting here was a mistake. Oh god. So apparently the general consensus is that this person's an asshole. So we're being told that this person is keeping the lamp on and like not getting a book light and keeping their boyfriend up. I knew that it would be controversial, but I didn't appreciate the cruelty in some of the comments. Keep in mind that you all don't know the details of the situation or past experiences. So saying things like, I'm a crybaby or selfish and never will allow people to be happy is just uncalled for. You don't know how someone, is in a post. I appreciate the people that left their suggestions and gave their opinions without claiming anything about my character. Please read the full post before commenting. Oh, that wasn't even the post! Jesus, okay. So here's the post. So I guess this one is off to a bad start. I thought we were halfway through it. I haven't even started it. So, I recently had COVID, we got that, babe, and was super sick during the early days. One night, I had a lot of trouble falling asleep because of how uncomfortable my symptoms were making me. Sore throat, stuffed nose, fatigue, babe, been there many times. That big C has passed through my body 4 or 5 times, unfortunately, and the long-term damage is... So I was up late reading, trying to distract myself enough to fall asleep. Around 2 a.m., my boyfriend wakes up after sleeping for about 3 hours and asked me to turn off the light. I told him that I was having trouble sleeping and reading was to help, distract from how sick I was feeling. Then go into another room, sleep on the sofa, do whatever, you know what I mean? I also mentioned that, and you weren't sleeping, so go read with the light on in another room, then go to bed. It's as easy as that. I also mentioned that I took some melatonin 5 minutes earlier, so I was hoping it would kick in so I could get some sleep. Well, he insisted I turn the lights off because I was being inconsiderate of the fact that he had worked the next... Well, you are. That he had worked the next day. I mentioned that I normally don't have the light on. It doesn't matter if you normally don't have it on. It's annoying. That I normally don't have the light on this late, and it was only because I was sick, and that I would appreciate if he could just let it slide. When he was still upset, I offered to sleep on the couch. He continued to tell me how inconsiderate I was and that he was going to sleep on the couch and stormed off. Yeah, because you've made him, uncomfortable. And you've, pissed him off. You could have just avoided all of this by reading in another room with all of the lights on. And then going to bed. You know how frustrating it is when you need to sleep and there's something that's frustrating you, not allowing you to sleep, and you have to wake up really early. That in this case was the fucking woman. He came back a few minutes later and continued to hound me, so I finally turned off the light and went to the bathroom. I broke down crying. What? I finally turned off the light and went to the bathroom. I broke down crying. Listen, okay. Because I was already not feeling good and the stress of the fight made it worse. Okay, I can understand that, but this is a tad dramatic. He eventually came in and apologized. He has work in the morning! Let the man sleep! At that point, though, I just kept the light off and took more melatonin. My God. The next day, I asked if he could try a sleep mask and I would try a headless, less bright light in the future. Why does he have to change his, This is so annoying. You're annoying. You're not getting him to wear a sleep mask, all these different things. Why can't you just read in another room? That's how easy this is. And then go into the room, go to bed. That's as easy as what this is. But now it's been made into this big deal because of you. He refused to wear a sleep mask. Okay, that's his prerogative. And told me that I needed to turn the lights off past midnight. I was frustrated because I provided a possible compromise. Go into another room. I let him know that I was frustrated, but he kept doubling down saying I was considerate. Am I the asshole? Top comment, you're the asshole. If you can't sleep, go to another room and read. He should not have hounded you in the first place, but you should have been more considerate in the first place. Oh my God, listen. I believe you're the asshole just based on this was made so much more of a problem than what it could have been. This was so much drama for no purpose at all. Right? So yes, I believe you're the asshole because you could have easily fixed this and you wouldn't have needed to have broken down in tears in your bathroom and he has to come in and fucking console you and stuff because you're stressed because of the fight, because the fight didn't need to happen. On weekends, you know, the compromise, if you don't work on the weekends, you can stay up and you can have your little light on, read a book in bed. I just, like, go into another room and read, and then get into bed by. So you're the asshole in my opinion. Anyways, muckers, let me know your opinion on all of these. I want to know if you believe the people are the assholes. They're not. We'll talk about it down below. I appreciate you being here. There's 2 other ones of these if you want to go watch them. I'm going to continue making them until people stop watching these, and then I will stop making them. So cheers. Love you. Thank you for watching.